know that you are a human being deserving of being treated with dignity. Come on, hey, 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 come on, say human, hey. Human, we're all human, 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 say we're all.
We the people, we the people. Listen, it's great to be here with you.
Okay, we're here at the third No Kings protest. We got somebody here. What's your name? Where you from?
I'm PJ from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I didn't even realize you had a sign. Let me read that. There's no compromising with fascists. What's the motivation behind that sign?
I feel like we're still working in a system of like a normal government where they try to work together, but there is no compromising with fascism, and there is nothing that is making this okay. You have to really stand strong against this.
Facts, facts. That's why we out down here. So I was going to ask you, the state of the country right now, exactly how do you feel about it, and what really brought you down here?
I cannot even fathom how we got in. Well,
Georgia Public Service Commission.
I never imagined as a kid that this would be where we're going in our country.
Me neither.
I studied politics in DC, and this is not an acceptable way for us to go, and it's really highlighting everything that has been building for so long. This is not a new thing.
So what started this then? You said, like, how long you think this been building up? Like, how did we get here?
I think it's been building up for decades. It's been building up when Citizens United was allowed. It's been building up since these giant donors have been coming in. Reagan era, Nixon.
Facts, you're right.
This is not, it shouldn't be a surprise, and yet it still is a surprise in some way.
And so for most of the country, like, what you think they're feeling, like, eternally, like each week to week, like, what you think they're feeling?
It's anxiety, sadness, a tense emotion. You feel like you don't know what's coming next and because when you think you're at the bottom, it just gets worse.
And I'm glad you're out here, and it's some people that's actually stayed home or they're not getting involved. What would you say to those folks?
Apathy is what allowed us to get to this point. Apathy is not acceptable anymore. No, it was never acceptable. Apathy was never acceptable, and you need to actually fight for this. This is not going to end well for anyone.
It's not going to just go away. You got to fight to get it out of here.
It's not a normal circumstance. You can't just wait for the next thing to come along and make it better. At this point, it's such a systemic issue that you have to do something.
You got to do something. So my final question is, I asked you earlier, like, who would you see like to run for president in 2028? And you said no one really stands out. So what would somebody have to do to stand out to get your attention?
So I know a big front runner right now is Gavin Newsom, which not awful. He does flip-flop on many issues right now. Refusing with Israel and Palestine, that is an issue he's been flip-flopping on. But overall, I think there needs to be like a genuine.
It's more than just the name of an organization or a logo.
Genuine care.
I need for us to all
And these politicians so good, like they act like they care, but they really don't.
Exactly, that's what kills me. It's pretending. It's still going into billionaire donors. It's getting on the right-wing podcast.
When we protect the freedoms.
That's
the freedom to vote.
Can we just have Mandami?
So really, somebody who would stand out to you would be somebody who don't take no donations at all, like Mandani or.
Mandami did take donations, but not from these giant super PACs that, because he does normal, like people donations. He does take money to run a campaign, unfortunately, but.
And so right now,
there's too much big money in politics, is what I would say.
Yes,
it should not be like gaining money. Should not be the end all of politics. And yet that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we need to end that. And that's the main thing. I think that's like the biggest thing. Like if we get money out of politics, everything will change like immediately.
Exactly. That was never the intention of what people had imagined. You should not be getting rich off of politics. It should be for a genuine serving of your community.
Facts. Well, like I said, I appreciate you coming down here using your voice.
But it's something I gotta prove. Keep your lies till I rise, like Maya Angelou or Malcolm Martin Jordan. Now know you jealous, you can't tell us nothing that we couldn't do. But God, we break the rules, I'm more than you.
No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting.
What's your name? Where you from?
My name is Sean Ledger, and I'm from Marietta, Georgia, but I reside now in Douglasville, Georgia.
Okay, Marietta, that's what's up. So it's a lot going on in the country. How you feel about where the country is at, and what brought you down here to this protest?
I mean, the country could definitely be a lot better. There's a lot to improve on, but that's why we're here as, like, you know, one nation. More people, more numbers, you see results. And I'm down here because my grandma, she's a big influence in my life, and she was like, you know, come down, support. I go to school in Atlanta, Georgia, so it's only right to come down here. And, you know, I'm Hispanic, parents of immigrants. So, you know, come out.
It's kind of personal to you.
For sure. It's personal for my friends, my family. So, you know, if I can come support, I'm going to do it.
Hey, I appreciate that. And I think, like, my generation and your generation, we kind of not used to, like, fighting for something or marching. So I'm proud to see people get out that mindset, like, shit ain't gonna change unless you try to do something to make it change. You feel me? So what you think the country is feeling like overall? You think, how's people feeling like on a week-to-week basis?
I mean, we're already struggling day to day for gas. So, you know.
The prices.
Yeah, so that's only, like, you know, the surface level. If you dig deeper, there's a whole lot more that you know, you can find out on social media. All you gotta do is just go out there, do your research, find it.
Research. Why nobody want to research?
Lazy. That's all I can say, lazy.
You really can Google the stuff that you don't know.
Exactly. It's fundamental, you know. Reading is fundamental, so just go research.
Okay, so going into 2028, who would you like to see run for president next time?
I actually don't have an answer for that. Anybody better than Trump, that's all I can say. But, you know.
Well, let me ask you this. What would a candidate have to do to stand out to get your attention?
You know, just say, if you're going to say something, do it. I get that Trump said he was going to say and he did it, but a lot of people voted for him and they didn't really, they didn't know the ins and the outs.
Right, they didn't know exactly what they were voting for.
Yeah, so I feel like if you know, vote for what you know you're going to vote for. You know, for the long run, think about your future, think about your kids' and your kids' kids.
Yeah, and one more time, like, tell people who's, like, not involved and don't have the courage to come out here like you. What would you say to those folks in closing?
I don't know. I wouldn't say it takes courage. I would say it takes, you know, just confidence. And, you know, come out here and make sure you know what you're doing, what you're standing up for. Don't just come out here just to be out here. If you're out here, know what you're coming out here for.
That'll work. I appreciate you coming out here. And this video will be up on my YouTube on probably Monday. I'm going to give you my card. I'm at the No Kings 3. We got a good crowd out here. A lot of people energized. A lot of people motivated. I got somebody here. What's your name? Where you from?
Michael Bash. I'm from Suwanee, Georgia.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So it's a lot going on right now. How do you feel about the state of the country right now, and what brought you down here?
I am so terrified the state of the country right now. I'm fearful that we're losing our democracy. We've let Trump just run ramshot over everything. There's no checks and balances, minimizing marginalized communities. It's a mess. And if you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be out here protesting, I would have said, oh, no way.
Exactly. And you said scared. So speak about that fear I think a lot of Americans have. What's bringing the actual fear, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of people is feeling? What are they scared of?
In my opinion, we've got white nationalism going on. We have this whole idea of again, these oligarchs and the people in power, the rich and the wealthy, controlling everything. And it's just heading in a bad direction. It's ruining the opportunity and destroying the middle class.
And I feel like it's becoming a little heartless out here. I think it's like making the country look more like a financial thing than like America is based on like love, unity, community. I don't feel that no more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as a nation, I think we've lost empathy. I mean, I'm horrified at what's going on with the Latin American community. We just don't seem to care, and common decency has disappeared. So much anger, so much anger. I don't know how to describe it.
You think that's a symptom of just people just not being able to afford to live? They just taking it out on each other?
I don't think that. I think it's the leaders of our country basically pitting one person against another.
That's it.
There's never an attempt for unity. First president in my lifetime that just never even gave lip service to try and bring people together. He does nothing but want to divide people. Keeping us divided is the way that keeps us angry. It's the way they drive the votes, and it's horrible.
It's actually a bad strategy to run the country because the phrase is united we stand, divided we fall. So why would your strategy be division?
Yeah, it's beyond me. I mean, obviously, it's driven out the vote for the Republican Party, so they're just doubling down on it every single election, and it's got to stop. We've got to try and bring people together. Nonviolence, love, empathy. If the government doesn't do it, we've got to do it for each other.
I appreciate that. I'm so glad you're down here. So let me read your sign for it. It said you asked for it, you got it. I thought we were better than this. Now we have to live with the consequences of your poor choices. Did you make this sign yourself?
I did, yes, yeah.
You must got some kind of talent. This looks pretty good.
Thanks, yeah. We actually own a printing company, so.
Okay, nice. So the final question is, who you think should run for president going into 2028?
You know, I really like Gavin Newsom. He seems to be the only one who's been willing to stand up against Trump. I think he's got some momentum. We still kind of lack that in the Democrat Party. We lack kind of rallying around a single unifying leader. So I think right now he's the best we've got.
Do you think he'll get in there and change and switch up and maybe not do the things that we would like him to do? Or do you trust him?
I trust him. I think he's going to get in. He's definitely going to shake things up, but I think he believes in our democracy and he believes in the rule of law, and I think he's going to bring us back to decency and politeness and dialogue with the other side as opposed to just anger.
Got you. And in closing, what would you say to people who kind of just ignoring this and hoping it go away? They're not really like involved like you are. What would you say to those people in closing?
Man, if you're not paying attention, you should be, because it's only going to get worse from here if we don't take action. So get out and vote, talk to your neighbors, let people know what's going on, let people know how you feel. Don't be afraid to hide your opinion.
I appreciate it. Glad you came down here. Right now, what's your name and where you from?
Leviticus. I'm from Atlanta. I actually live just down the road of here.
Nice. It's convenient then. It didn't take you that long to get here, did it?
No, it took about 10 minutes, but we had to walk all the way up.
Right. But I actually need to exercise. So what do you think about what's everything going on in this country, and what brought you down here to this protest today?
So I've been to all three of these protests that we've had through the past year. It's about time. I should have been protesting earlier because I think a lot of the signs of what's happening right now we've been seeing for a while. There's a lot of reasons I could be down here. I got my flag with me. For the personal reason I'm down here is because I feel like my life is at stake at the moment. They are actively passing legislation, and they have passed legislation that actively puts my life as a trans person at risk. Like, I have never had to leave the house and feel afraid for my safety like I have in these times. There's a million other reasons I could list, but that's the one that is most important to me at the moment.
Well, I'm glad, like you said, better late than never. I did the first protest in March of last year. You feel me? And it was small.
Yeah.
But even then we saw it coming. A lot of people saw it coming. So I started a long time ago doing these protests. So how do you think the most of the country is feeling in this current moment? Like, what is the country going through as a whole, you think?
I think a lot of us started off scared, but I think now we're more angry. I've seen a sentiment of a lot of anger from people, and I think it's about damn time.
Yeah, me too. So you think it's mainly because of the race or the economy? Like, what you think is the main thing that people are frustrated with right now?
I think the thing that got a lot of people to wake up first was rights, but the thing that got the majority going was the economy. When people started feeling it, and that's always how it's been. When it starts to affect you, then you care. But I'm just glad people are caring at all.
Yeah, me too. And I'm sorry what you're going through. I understand that fear, you feel me? And I talk to a lot of immigrants who are scared, and it's a lot of fear and hate. How do you think we got here as a country?
I honestly think it started a long damn time ago, because this country was founded on the value that you could take and take and take just to benefit yourself. It was run by capitalists. It has been run by capitalists. And unless we do something about it, it's going to keep being run by capitalists until we drive it into the fucking ground.
We really got to get the money out of politics. we really got to. Like it's mandatory, or it's never gonna change. You know what I'm saying? So speaking of that, going into 2028, who would you like to see run for president in 2028?
Honestly, I know it's not technically allowed, but I'd like to see Mom Donnie try at it. I know technically he wasn't born in the States, but hell, if the people can do whatever they want when they get, their mind at it. So I'd like to see him. He's been doing real good work over in New York.
Yeah, I like his energy, and it's he didn't take as many like the donors or whatever for his campaign, and I really like that about him. I wish the president, whoever run president, would have that same, and I would trust him a little bit more. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I would vote for anyone who swears that they are not taking political donations. In fact, I feel like those kinds of donations should be illegal. No one should be taking those, because when there's money in politics, there is no good side.
That's 100% correct. So last thing, what would you tell people that were like you and that have the courage to come protest, and they was just kind of sitting on the sidelines thinking that maybe they'll get better? What would you say to those people?
I feel like we're only going to be angry enough when we're marching up those steps and burning it down at this point. I feel like people should be angry. They should be more angry until things change.
I feel the exact same way. Well, I appreciate you coming down here. I appreciate you using your voice. Looks pretty good.
No Kings.
Okay, with the No Kings 3 protest, we got a lot of people down here. We got a good crowd. I have somebody here. What's your name and where you from?
I'm from Sandy Springs. My name is Crystal.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So, how do you feel about everything that's going on in the country right now, and what brought you down here?
It is utterly appalling what is happening here. Immigrants are getting pulled off the streets. Trans people are getting close to a genocide. And I'm just here to say that this isn't acceptable for anyone. Like, even disregarding my own personal stakes here, everyone's going to get hurt by this. Everybody's going to get affected by this. It's not just us. It's going to be everyone down the road. And it's short-sighted to pretend that it won't be anyone else.
And so why do you think some people are being complacent, like they're not taking it as serious as they should?
Well, if you grow up in privilege, as admittedly I have, you don't realize what's going on until most of the time it's too late or it's your ass on the line. So I just want to say that it will come to you. And I wish it didn't, but it is an inevitability.
But I'm telling you what.
How do you feel about the current economy? A lot of people are struggling. A lot of people can't afford things. Gases went up. How do you feel about that whole thing with prices rising?
Well, I feel like it was to be expected, honestly. A dictator does not care about his constituents. He will say anything he wants in order to get as many votes as possible so he can knock the ladder down from under him. It doesn't matter if he says that he's going to fix the economy. His number one goal is staying in power. And that means keeping his friends happy.
I'm so glad you're down here. People like you using your voice and your time. I appreciate you being down here. So going into 2028, who you think should run for president in 2028?
I'm not entirely sure, in all honesty. None of the characters are particularly good. I do believe that Tim Walz could potentially do rather good work. He is. He was a little bit spineless during the vice presidential debate, I will admit that. But
I don't think they heard you.
I think what would be best is that we look for new blood. We look for individuals who are able to take the fight to the very top. And people who actually have ideals, who have morals, those are the individuals who are authentic and will earn the vote.
That's the hard part too, because a lot of times we think we trust them, and then they get in there and they do something different. Like, how do we really gauge as Americans who is actually a real candidate? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we tell that they're not going to flip-flop when they get in there?
Exactly. It's very difficult. I think most of the establishment has to go, like, just get completely cut off from the primaries. Not literally, but practically speaking, none of them are consistent in their beliefs.
Yeah, I'm with that too. I think we should just get rid of everybody and maybe just start all over. You know what I'm saying? Just get new House people, new Senate people, something. You know what I'm saying? If that's might be the only way. And we got to get the money out of politics.
100%. Citizens United was one of the worst decisions, one of the worst events in terms of American history, and there were a lot of horrible events.
Exactly. So I appreciate you, like I said, using your time and coming down here, and I'll see you when we start marching. Down here catching the vibes, man. There's a lot going on. I don't know what's about to happen in this country, man, but I just say stay prayed up.
I believe that we will win. 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 I believe that we will win.
Okay, we're here at No Kings 3. We got a lot of people. It's a lot of enthusiasm. I'm standing here with somebody. What's your name and where you from?
My name is Miles, and I'm from Atlanta. I'm a community organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
Okay, how long has that party been around? This is actually my first time hearing about you guys. How long you been around?
So we actually been around for decades. We really emerged from the anti-war movement during the invasion of Iraq in the early 2000s. And so that's actually also one of the main reasons why we're out here today. I mean, of course, today, you know, thousands of people here in Atlanta, but also millions, maybe tens of millions of people across the United States are out here because they're sick and tired of Trump and the billionaires' war on the working class here in the United States, and the war on Iran, the war on, you know, the whole global South. You know, the blockade on Cuba, the kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro, democratically elected president of the sovereign country, Venezuela. And so we're here as part of the anti-war coalition to build up and organize and to fight back against these attacks both here and abroad.
Okay, that was a good message you just gave. Real quick, just tell them what they can do if they would like to reach out to you and like maybe join. Can you talk about that real quick?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. We organize here in Atlanta, but also we're a national organization that organizes in, you know, over 125 different cities across the United States. And right now we're really building up with this energy, like you're talking about, really like positive energy here, building up towards May Day, May 1st, which unions, community organizations, progressive organizations all across the United States are calling for a general strike.
I'm about to say May 1st. I already know, general strike. I'm going to be participating.
That's right. Okay. Hell yeah. Me too. And so what that means, like for your viewers, is like no work, no school, no business as usual, right? We saw that this is what was able to defeat Operation Winter Surge in Minneapolis when the working class came together and shut things down on January 23rd and then again on January 30th. So we need to kind of see that as like our North Star of like the tactic that is now resonating with working class people and what it's going to take to actually defeat Trump and this billionaire agenda.
You're exactly right. I've been saying I'm like the real solution is general strike. If we did it, it wouldn't even take that long. Maybe like if what they say like 30% of the country did a general strike, it'll change things. What's that?
That's right. Yeah, you know, people have misconceptions about the general strike, but the reality is, it's like it takes a large layer of the working class, because at the end of the day, it's like who makes things run? You know, it's working class people. It's the bus drivers. It's the postal service people. You know, it's working class people all around. All the people that are here, right, that make things run. What's changing is that people's consciousness is changing about that power that they have collectively. And so the general strike is that next step where it's like we collectively understand our role as workers and we can withhold that labor. And that's actually what can shut things down and force, you know, Trump and his billionaire cronies to end the war, to abolish ICE, to end the blockade on Cuba, right? All of these different things at the end of the day come to organization. So that's what we're building towards.
And it's crazy that some kind of way we got turned around and we forgot that they actually work for us. Like they work for us, but they just doing stuff that we don't even want them to do. But I'm like, y'all are our employees. We put y'all in those positions. So why do you think people have got turned around and forgot their power?
Well, it's the old adage, like the ideology of any society is the ideology of its ruling class, right? When you have billionaires that own every form of media, the mainstream media, they create a particular message, right? The narrative, right? And so what we need to do is we need to kind of, talk about the battle of ideas. What that really means is just like talking to working class people and kind of open their eyes to alternatives, right? And so right now we live in a society where the billionaire class, runs the economy, and they do so for their own interests, right? We've got billions of dollars for ICE. We got $1.5 trillion for the war machine, but we got schools in DeKalb County shutting down. I mean, we have a public health crisis across the United States. Half of working class people are a $500 medical bill away from bankruptcy. So clearly this system isn't working for working class people. It's working for the billionaires, right? It's working for them. So we need a new system, right? We need a whole new system where working class people have political power to plan the economy to meet the needs of the people, right? The 330 million people like you and me, and the planet, right? Because we only got one planet. So these are the things that we're fighting for. And honestly, the people I've been talking to around here, they're in full agreement. It's actually not a scary idea. The scary idea is what this continues to look like, right? When a billionaire class continues to go all out on war. I mean, he's calling for another $200 billion on top of the already trillion plus for the military. It's like, that money should be going to our communities.
In our healthcare, getting daycare costs lower, find a way to stop the rent prices from raising, get gas down. That's a lot of money just to send to that when we got so much going on here at home. And what I've been saying is I think the middle class, they gotta be more like community oriented. The middle class gotta talk to each other more. You feel me? Because that's what it is really like the middle class versus the billionaire class. But if we're separated and we're not coming out to the protests and talking to each other, everybody can't get on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think in a way it's really about how workers organize. I mean, we talk about organizing in our workplaces. That's a huge point, right? The middle class, the working class, the reality is there are two classes in society. I think a lot of people have this kind of misguided idea that it's if, they got a house, they're making decent money, they're not the working class. It's listen, if you don't own the New York Times, if you don't own Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, General Dynamics, you're a worker. Now, you might be a worker with a little more cushion, but when push comes to shove, your 401k is not going to mean bupkis if we continue to go into this war and all of a sudden we have a global kind of a global depression of the scale at which we probably haven't seen since the Great Depression.
And even if you got a cushion, that cushion will fall away because the workers are everything is built up on top of the regular middle class. You know what I'm saying? So if they fall, you're gonna come right behind them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones buying the products. You feel me? So I think they got to look at it like that. So for the last thing, I was gonna ask you, who would you like to see run, or who do you want to see as president in 2028?
Yeah, so the Party for Socialism and Liberation actually had presidential candidates that ran nationwide, Claudia de la Cruz and Karina Garcia. They had an incredible program. What we wanted to do was cut the military budget by 95%, right? That means you still got, $50 billion going to the military. It's insane. $950 billion. You could end poverty in the United States. You could house every homeless person in the United States. You could build affordable healthcare, actually healthcare for all in the United States. So many things that we could do. We see it as a way to actually talk to people every 4 years who become politically engaged. And so I'm voting for Claudia de la Cruz and Karina Garcia if they're running in 2028. And
if, or are they definitely running? Are you not sure?
Oh, well, we're going to run candidates in 2028. In fact, right now we also are running in different places in the United States too, for senator, for other kind of positions in local politics as well. And so, that's who I'm voting for, and I think that it's really an opportunity for people to move away from the two-party system where, we recognize that it's the Republicans are terrible, but the Democrats, what have they done? Exactly. Right? They actually have created Trump. They created the conditions for a figure like Trump to be successful because they have been so incapable of actually meeting people's needs, right? And so that's why they've lost that popularity. And so we need a break from the two-party system. We need a new political system. We need at least one political party that represents the working class, and that's the PSL.
I would love to see that. I like that you said that, like one political party that represents strictly the working class. That sounds so fantastic, man. I hope we can bring that into fruition, because that's exactly what we need. And now that you said it like that, I'm like, yep, that's it. So you got a website you could tell them about, or Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find us at PSL Atlanta on Instagram, or you can check us out, PSL National, the Party for Socialism and Liberation, and see where the nearest branch is for you. So yeah, but we're organizing here in Atlanta. We're organizing all over Georgia. So definitely hit us up.
That'll work. Well, I appreciate you what you're doing and your party is doing, man. Keep up that work. It's necessary. Got a nice crowd, a lot of enthusiasm. I'm here with somebody, they want to remain kind of anonymous, but they gonna let me talk to them. So what's your name, where you're from, or you want to just be all the way anonymous?
Hello, my name is T. I grew up originally in Riverdale, so I'm Clayco.
Nice.
But yeah, so yeah, I grew up over here in the South. So yeah, I came to fight for my people because that's what our ancestors fought for us to do. We're all united the way we are right now because they fought for us, they protested for us, and now it's up to the new generation to do it. That's what we're here for.
I appreciate that. And what is exactly is your nationality?
Yes, so my parents are from Mexico. My mom's from my mom is from Guerrero, Mexico, and my dad is from Guanajuato. I'm not exactly 100% sure when they migrated over here to the United States, but all I know is my people are from Mexico.
Nice. My heart actually goes out to my Mexicans. I grew up in a community for 4 years. I lived in a community with just nothing but Mexicans. It was me and one other black guy, but the whole community was Mexicans, and they treated us real well. We had a lot of time, danced a lot, drunk a lot of beer. It was a great time. You know what I'm saying? So my heart goes out to what I see them going through. So what you think about everything that's going on in this country as a whole, and what brought you to this protest mainly?
What mainly brought me to this protest was because I'm saying we have to be here for the people that don't have a voice. My parents, unfortunately, they can't come over here because they are a higher risk. But yep, if I was born here, this is my country, and yes, even though my parents come from that background, I was raised here, so I know everything from how it feels to come from scratch. They had to build their future here, and what Trump is doing right now, taking that away from us, is not okay. Yes, I understand there's ways to do it legally, but you cannot discriminate people at all. If we want to discriminate people, let's talk about how the Europeans, they colonized this country. This is stolen land. So what are we going to do? We have to fight.
And I don't like the fact that they're kind of villainizing like immigrants when really the billionaires and corporations is really robbing everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like the immigrants not hurting nobody. They're actually good people. They cool. They be working, getting their money. Like I said, I was in that community around them like it was lit. You know what I'm saying? So the way I see it is something got to change. You feel me? So also another question I have. So, well, actually, let me read your sign real quick. I meant to do that. When we're not hungry for justice, it's because you're privileged. Oh, okay. So what?
The grammar ain't there, but
exactly what you the sentiment of that sign.
To me, this is very sentimental because, like I said, my parents, they had to literally work hard to get the clothes on my back. That's how I see it, and thanks to them, I was able to graduate high school. I graduated high school thanks to that diploma. I could build my future here. I was able to get me a good little job, a good little 9-to-5, and now it's up to me to, continue on with my education, pursuing it, so that someday my last name can have a credential. My last name.
Yeah, I definitely know what you're saying. And I like the fact that you, you know what I'm saying, like thank your parents, you know what I'm saying? Like you still like understand who came before you and paved the way. And I think a lot of people are forgetting, like we got this far because people before us kind of fought through a lot of bullshit to get us here. You feel me? And y'all need to like hold that down. Y'all can't just be chilling like everything gonna be cool. Nah, y'all gotta keep fighting. So going into 2028, who you think should be the president or run for president in 2028? Who you want to see?
Right now, if I'm being honest, I'm not too sure politically. My head's really more wrapped around for the people. That I know it's still like the same thing for the people that should be thinking about who I want to elect. But all I know right now, we need that pig out. That's it. That's all I know. We need that pig out. That's
You said focus on right now. We'll worry about that later. For now, we got to focus on that strategy. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, I appreciate you spending your time and making a sign and being down here and using your voice. You feel me? I'm praying for all my immigrants and just keep fighting.